Would the audience remain seated during the processional in order that all graduates may be seen? time, would you please stand and remove your hats for the playing of the National Anthem. The National Anthem will be played by Minford High School Class of 2021 Senior Joel Kniff. Thank you, Joel. Welcome, parents, faculty, and friends to the 98th Minford High School Commencement. Today marks the culmination of 13 years of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, not only by the graduates, but by their parents, their guardians, and their grandparents. At this time, I'd like to recognize our school board members, treasurer, and administration. Would you please rise as I call your name? Mr. Joe Stockham, Minford Local School Board President. Mr. Shane Mouget, Board Vice President. Mr. Mike Gamp. Mr. Matt Knorr, and not able to be here with us today, Mr. Mark Cottle. I'd also like to recognize the rest of our guests. Superintendent, Mr. Jeremy Litteral. Guidance Counselor, Cindy Williams. Our commencement speaker, Mr. Chuck Miller. And not able to be here today, Mrs. Ashley Roberts, our school treasurer, and the director of the Falcon Virtual School, Mr. Tate Skinner. The students before you would have never made it to this day without the dedication of their teachers and all the support staff here at Minford Local Schools. This was never more apparent than during this past year. Everyone pitched in to make school work for our students. At this time, I would like to recognize all of the Minford teachers and our K-12 staff and everyone in attendance today that helped get these students where they are today. Please stand to be recognized, Minford staff members. Each year, our best of the class honor students are given the opportunity to speak to the senior class. This year, there were 10 students who finished their high school career with a 4.0 average. 5 of those students one to speak to the class. At this time, I'd like to introduce two of these students who will address the class today. Miss Macy Wright and Mr. Colin Bennington. Miss Wright will speak first.
The 3,510 days we have all spent together are now coming to an end. For the past 13 years, we have spent at least 9 out of the 12 months of the year together. And the fact that it is all coming to an end makes this day so bittersweet. We have made lifelong memories and friends. From recesses to freaking out over tests to the football games and dances, we have experienced life together. We have laughed and cried together and have made the most out of every second. But we didn't do this alone. Throughout the past 13 years, we have formed relationships with our teachers. They will always have a special place in our hearts. And while we may have been frustrated with them at times because of all the hard work they have assigned and all the tests they have given, they have shown without a shadow of a doubt that they truly care about us and our education. They have helped shape us into the young men and women who are sitting in these caps and gowns today. They have helped prepare us for this moment, which at times may not have been an easy job for them, and we appreciate it greatly. From the moment we stepped foot into Minford High School for the first time, our teachers have always been there. And now, as we prepare to leave Minford High School, we thank you, teachers, for your dedication to our success. We thank you for helping prepare us for the world and making sure that we reach this point. We can never thank you enough for all that you have done. However, the people who deserve our biggest shout out are our parents. They have truly been there for every step of the way. Our parents were there when we first set foot in our kindergarten classrooms, and they are now here watching us graduate. They experienced the early mornings, getting up for school, and the late nights doing homework and studying. They were there for every event, cheering us on. They were there to celebrate our successes and to encourage and build us up when we have failed. They will always be our biggest fans. And they raised us into who we are today. We couldn't have made it to this point without their support. So to the parents that are here today, we thank you. This past year has been a year like no other. We have had to completely alter our senior year. And while it has been difficult, we thank those who have helped make this year the best it could possibly be. We have enjoyed every moment and have made the most out of every second. We have made memories that no other class can say that they have made. This year has taught us to never take anything for granted, because it can all be taken away in a day, like what happened on March 13th, 2020. This year has taught us how to adapt to our situations and how to make the most of whatever life may throw at us. But above all, this year has shown us how strong we are. The one word I would use to describe Minford High School class of 2021 is strong. S stands for selfless. We have been there for each other through thick and thin, especially this senior year. T stands for timeless. We will always be there for each other, no matter when. While we may be going our separate ways, Minford will always be home, and the people here will always be family. R stands for resilient. We have had to adjust to COVID-19 for over a year, and we did it. COVID hit us out of nowhere, making us have to adjust very suddenly. We have pushed forward and kept going, and it has paid off. O stands for optimistic. This past year has made staying positive difficult, but we have made the most out of every situation we have faced and kept our heads held high. We thank those who have helped make staying positive easier this year by giving us as much of a normal senior year as possible. N stands for naive. While this may seem like a negative description, it is because we are still young. Sitting here today, we may believe that we have the world figured out and that we are grown up, but we still have our whole lives ahead of us. We still have a lot of growing up to do. All we have known up to this point is Minford. Minford High School Class of 2021, go out and experience life. Keep learning as much as possible. G stands for grateful. We are so grateful for having as normal of a senior year as possible in the midst of a pandemic. We are grateful for our teachers for adjusting to online teaching to keep us learning as much possible. Their focus this year has been us, and we are so grateful for their dedication. We are grateful for our parents for sticking by our side for the past 13 years and for being our biggest supporters. We are grateful to be in these caps and gowns today and beginning a new chapter of our lives. As I conclude this speech, I'd like to encourage the class of 2021 to continue to be strong. Follow the path that best fits you. Stay selfless, be timeless, stay resilient, stay optimistic, experience life, and continue to be grateful for the small things in life. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guests, friends, family, and staff. It has been a great honor to be here before you all today. It's truly been a team effort from all of you to get me and my fellow classmates where we are before you. I'd like to personally thank my parents and teachers for the work they put in throughout the years to educate, mentor, and help put the class of 2021 on a path to success. Seniors, our day has come. This is the day that some of us have looked forward to and the day that some of us have dreaded for years. As this day has approached, a few memories have been replaying themselves in my head, along with the lessons I have learned by reflecting upon them. The first memory I'd like to share is from almost a decade ago in the elementary school. In the computer lab, we all received our school email accounts consisting of our last name, first initial, followed by the number 21. I can remember asking our teacher, what does the 21 mean at the end? When our teacher told the class, that's the year you graduate high school, I can remember talking to my classmates about how the year 2021 was centuries away and surely would never come. But like with many other things, without much thought, we returned back to our day, unworried about the future and the day that would never come. 6 years later, as a nervous freshman about to enter high school, I remember asking a graduate from the class of 2017 what to expect and if they had any advice. I can remember the emphasis put on the statement, the high school goes fast. Try to savor every moment and make the most of every opportunity given to you. Of course, the same me from elementary school brushed these words off, because then, being in his shoes was still a very distant thought. I thought surely the years would drag on, and for a while they did. However, when days felt like years, the years began to feel like days, and before I knew it, memories that were yesterday felt like yesterday were in reality years ago. Although I didn't believe that high school would go by so fast, I utilized the second part of the advice given to me by that graduate, to cherish every moment and make the most of your opportunities. This idea has proven itself as one of the most important lessons I have learned for application into life in general, not just in high school. Over the past 4 years, I have developed a belief that opportunity creates potential for action, and that action affects how we perceive time. Opportunity itself has nothing to offer anyone. Acting on that opportunity is what is fruitful. Taking action, doing something new, learning a new skill, pushing your boundaries, and getting out of your comfort zone. That is what slows life down and creates time for self-reflection and time to appreciate the moment that you're in. They say that time flies when you're having fun, but I believe time flies even faster when we fall into a routine. This is the lesson that I failed to see throughout my earlier years at Minford, and it's a lesson I would like everyone here, not the graduates, not just the graduates, to take home with them today. So, seniors, today I would like to leave you with this. Right now is an opportune period for action. This is one of the few times in life where we can truly slow down for a moment, take inventory, and act on the opportunities we have in front of us. I hope that through the lessons I have shared today, we can all create a life that we can look back on and know we made the best of. I wish you the best of luck, class of 2021.
Thank you, Macy. Thank you, Colin. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Superintendent of the Minford Local School District, Mr. Jeremy Littrell, and the Minford High School Guidance Counselor, Mrs. Cindy Williams, who will have the presentation of awards.
As high school counselor, I have the privilege of announcing that this class of 2021 has earned over $1,028,000 in scholarships for next year. Congratulations. At this time, I would also like to recognize the 2021 Superintendent's Top 10. The Superintendent's Top 10 consists of the top 10 grade point averages for the class of 2021. As Mr. Pico mentioned earlier, this was easy this year because we have 10 students who finished their high school career with a 4.0 GPA. Mr. Samuel Willie, come on up. Son of Keith and Christy Wheelie. Miss Annie Lawson, the daughter of Scott and Sherry Lawson. Mr. Colin Bennington, the son of Nathan Bennington and Michelle Ramey. Mr. Dutch Bird, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy and Tara Bird. Mr. Ethan Crabtree, the son of Eric and Teresa Crabtree. Miss McKenna Higby, the daughter of Sean and Renee Higby. Mr. Seth Simpson, the son of Mike and Laura Simpson. Miss Macy Wright, the daughter of Joe and Tiana Wright. Mr. Jonathan Miller, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Derek and Julie Miller. Miss Haley Mittler, the granddaughter of William and Brenda Knoll. Congratulations to all the graduates of 2021.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our next three student speakers. That'd be Ethan Crabtree, Seth Simpson, and Dutch Bird. Ethan?
Throughout life, there'll be many milestones you will reach that will be remembered for the rest of your life. Graduating high school is one such milestone. This journey has been almost 13 years in the making, and even though it seems like it's been a long time, in many ways, it's just the beginning. Excuse me. As you finish high school, you must look beyond and find out what it is you want to do with your life. Whether it be college, a trade school, or something else, whatever it is, it's important to have a plan. This plan will, even if it changes along the way, have a huge impact on your future. Find something that you want to do, something you enjoy. Find a way to use this to support yourself. You only have one life, so you should make the most of it. And do what you want to do, not what other people want to do. And to make the most of the time that you have. You're at the age that you need to start making important decisions about your future. So it's important to be prepared to understand that the future is coming closer and closer. As I prepare for my future, I look back at my past and think of all the memories I've made these past few years with my fellow students and as well as staff. I'd like to thank all of you for helping me along the way and giving me a positive space to work in. School has given me many friendships. I pray that these friendships continue to last even after this day is over. If you feel you hate school, look back and remember all the friendships it's given you that you wouldn't have had otherwise. I thank all the friends that I've had in high school, making this time far more enjoyable. Now, I'd like to wish all the lower classmen good luck and give some words of encouragement and advice for them. Even though it starts out slow, high school does go by quite fast, so make the most of the time while you're here. Even if you don't believe yourself to be the smartest person, it's important to remember that pure intelligence is only part of the picture. Other important things include time management, and planning skills. When things seem hardest and you're anxious about difficult classes, stay on task and use your time as wisely as you can to get work done. Don't be afraid to ask for help from students or teachers if you need it. Even though classes may seem hard at times, you must push on. You can never expect life to get easier for you on your behalf. So, in the words of President Kennedy, pray not for easier lives, pray to be stronger people. This has been a tough year for all of us. It will be remembered long after this day is over, both for graduation and this past year as a whole. Even though things have been hard and uncertain this past year, we should all be relieved. In spite of this pandemic, we have persevered through the pandemic and made it to this grand milestone. For some, however, they were not as lucky. Let's take a moment of silence and remember all the people that lost their lives to COVID this past year. Even though that those who are now gone this past year, they're not truly gone, and their memories will live on forever. I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. I'd like to thank my friends, family, and the hardworking staff of Minford Schools. God bless you all, and God bless the United States.
Simpson.
I'd like to start. Congratulations, class of 2021, for making it through one of the greatest journeys of our lives. But before I go any further, I'd like to thank God for all of his blessings and his guidance throughout our lives. I would like to thank our families for always being there for us and to love us and to support us throughout our entire lives. I want to thank our friends for sticking by us and making sure we don't forget to have a fun time along the journey. And lastly, I'd like to thank every staff member of Minford Local Schools District. Without these individuals, we would not be here today where we are and be able to accomplish what we will accomplish and have accomplished. One of the greatest things we were told as kids was to dream big dreams. We were told to dream and shoot for the moon, and if we miss, we will land among the stars. All throughout our academic careers, we have kept taking the next step, one after the other, preparing for our launch into high school. Kindergarten to third grade, we were running the calculations and preparing for even the notion of takeoff. From fourth grade to seventh grade, we laid down a launch pad and built our shuttles for the big mission ahead of us. Finally, in eighth grade, we ran our final numbers and got ready for launch, and by the end of the school year, we took off on our great adventure. Just like takeoff, freshman year was a little bumpy ride. There were many new experiences and trials that we faced, but we made it through intact. Mostly intact anyways. Sophomore year, we gained a few more freedoms, like getting our driver's license or getting a later curfew. We became more independent, just as shuttles become more independent after they lose their rocket boosters once they leave the atmosphere. Junior year, we started settling in for that long-awaited trip to the moon, our graduation. We rode through our junior year, getting closer and closer to the destination of graduation that we have been so desperately waiting for. And that leads us here, right now, at the end of our senior year. In this very moment, at this very place, we have finally reached the moon. We have reached our destination that we have set out for since we stepped on these very school grounds. Now, we are at a pivotal moment in our lives. We are at the point where we can let the accomplishment of graduating high school freeze us in our place, making us orbit around the moon because we accomplished the mission. But I implore you, do not stop here. Don't stop now, not after how far we've traveled to get here. Like I stated earlier, we were always told to shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Well, I challenge, don't just shoot for the moon, and if you happen to land among the stars, you land among the stars. Purposely push past the moon and explore the great unknown of our future, and be the best we can possibly be, whether it be going into a trade, or going to college, or joining the military. Whatever you do, don't just settle for the moons in your life. Don't just settle for the first big steps in your life. Push on and be the best you can be. Push on and shoot for a place among the stars.
Mr. Bird.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dutch Bird, and I'm the senior class president here at Minford High School. When I was presented with the opportunity to give a speech, I knew I wanted it to be something that my classmates could take with them as we enter the next chapter of our lives. After a few days of fumbling around with some ideas, I was introduced to a quote, and after reading it, I knew it was exactly what I wanted to base my speech off of. The quote revealed a lesson that I feel could be valuable to my fellow classmates as we move on from high school. Now, I'm no Chuck Miller, but I do want to give a little history lesson about the quote itself. I know everyone thought they had their last high school history lesson a few weeks ago, but this will be the last one. On April 23rd, 1909, Theodore Roosevelt gave his most famous speech at the Sorbonne in Paris. He gave the speech to emphasize his belief that the success of the Republic rested not on the brilliance of the people, but rather their disciplined work and character. The name of the speech is The Citizens in a Republic. The most popular part of the speech was the quote that I was shown. This excerpt is most commonly known as the man in the arena. The man in the arena goes as follows. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, and comes up short again and again. But there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself worthy in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end of triumph and high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. I want to encourage you, my fellow classmates, to be the man in the arena. No matter what your next step is in life, whether you're going off to college, joining the military, or moving straight into the workforce, I challenge you to be the one who strives valiantly. Be the one who isn't afraid to fail, because you know failure is the first step to success. Be the one that is willing to step outside their comfort zone. Be the student that sits at the front of the classroom. Be the cadet that serves courageously. Be the worker that always gives 110% no matter the job. By putting yourself in the arena, you will expose yourself to opportunities you didn't even know existed. All of our arenas are different, and so are the challenges that we will face. Some challenges may be bigger than others, and some may even seem a little scary. But each one of you are much bigger than any challenge you'll face. Yes, I know. This next chapter may be a little daunting for some of us. I'll be honest. Sometimes I get a little nervous just thinking about college and every unknown that it brings. But that's part of being the man in the arena, facing the unknown and taking risks. So wherever you go, or whatever you do after leaving Minford High School, I implore you to be the man in the arena. In every arena I've ever stepped into, I have always been surrounded with unwavering support, and I'd like to acknowledge some of the people who have been in my corner for the past 12 years. Thank you to each and every teacher and staff member for showing up day in and day out to help shape us into the humans we are today. Thank you to the Minford community for the constant support that you've shown us over the past 12 years. From athletics to the classroom, you've always been right there cheering us on. Thank you to each and every coach for the countless hours you've spent on us. We would not be the same athletes or humans without you guys. I'd also like to say thank you to my family. Thank you for putting me in for schools. Thank you for the hours upon hours you have invested in making me the athlete, student, and human I am today. Lastly, I would personally like to thank my classmates. We've been in this together for the past 12 years, and let me say, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Thank you for all the fun memories we have created over the years. I love each and every one of you, and I'm going to miss you all so much. I wish for the best of years to come, and I hope we get to see each other again. Know I will always be in your corner as long as you're in the arena. Strive valiantly, come up short, spend yourself, dare greatly, be the man in the arena. Thank you.
In any year, being a student and giving a speech in front of a large audience takes a lot of courage. In this year, it's especially true. It's a larger crowd. It's a microphone that comes back and bounces in your ear. These guys did a great job. They had great messages. Thank you for your words. Let's give them another round of applause. It's a little different this year because everything will blow away if it's out where you can get to it. Honored guests, members of the Minford Local Board of Education, parents, faculty, and friends. Mr. Superintendent, these 103 seniors have completed all requirements as set forth by the state of Ohio, the Minford Local Board of Education, and the board of the Scioto County Career Technical Center. As principal of Minford High School, I am pleased to present them as candidates for graduation. First row, please stand. Mackenzie Paige Coverman. McKenna Paige Higby. Olivia Renee Tackett. Kara Joe McCrae. Hannah Ray Martin. Two Karas in a row. Kara Rochelle Dillon. Tegan Renee Clarkson. Andrea Danielle Blevins. Sarah Elizabeth Lewis. Chandler Elizabeth Preston. Timothy Michael Walk. Caden Matthew Banks. Matthew Joseph Reisner. Samuel Levi Wheelie. Seth Michael Simpson. Zebulon James Allen. Dutch Douglas Bird. Nolan Garrett Cottle. You're looking good, son. Elijah Thomas Vogelsong Lewis. Matthew Cole Coverman. First row, please be seated. Second row, please rise. Micah Nicole Thacker. Ezra May Veach. Allison Del Rita Correll. Livy Sue Schonkweiler. Annie Ray Lawson. Megan Jo Johnson. Raylyn Marie Dale. Brooklyn Scout Monroe. Alyssa Lynn Shrike. Kennedy Francis Prater. Caleb Lee Uhas. Ethan Samuel Felty. Tate Austin Walker. Robert Tyler Borders. Ethan Michael Morris. Sawyer Lee Gracial. Skylar Matthew Knorr. Colin Reese Bennington. Devin Alexander Reisner. Benjamin Tyler Atkin. Second row, please be seated. Third row, please rise. Emma Dawn Blevins. Katie Elizabeth Rice. Macy Jo Wright. Brooklyn Ann Phipps. Haley Nicole Caldwell. Haley Miranda Withrow. Brooklyn Ray Zapp. Yasmin Gabrielle Lumpkin. Kelsey Lynn Pennington. I got it. Ready. Kyla Michael Boggs. Jalen Broderick Lute. Christian Lee McAllister. Elijah Dean Stidham. Aaron Lee Kaiser. Tyler Scott Hamilton. Anthony Wayne Cooley Jr. Dante Calvin Wheeler. Jonathan Stephen Miller. Jesse Dakota Cantrell. Andrew Jacob Skaggs. Row 3, you may be seated. Row 4, please rise. Skylar Mackenzie Higgins. Haley Nicole Mittler. Abigail Elizabeth Cutlip. Hannah Faith Klein. Emma Grace Ann Fleener. Jasmine Lee Johnson. Olivia Ann Amato. Kayla May Wheeler. Laura Elise Bone. Rebecca Nicole Slusher. Robert Eugene York II. Aaron Marshall Bocook. Cord Nicholas Thornberry. James Garrett Tolliver. Levi Chess Dummett. Joel Patrick Kniff. Gannon Matthew Knight. Dakota Dale Wilson. Caden Noel Thornberry. Austin Edward Sturgill. With fourth row, please be seated. Fifth row, please rise. Caitlin Marie Rumfield. Kimberly Nicole Porter. Sarah Ann McCrory. Jill Marie Fife. Jeremy Ray Comer. Tyler Adam Brown. Max Hayden Suter. Seth Hollis McGraw. Carter Matthew Beckwith. Christopher Joseph David Gaines. Gage Matthew Stevenson. Mickey Ray Atkins. Ethan William Crabtree. Raymond Austin Smith. Dakota Dustin Diego White. Austin Michael Hebert. Candidates, please rise. By the authority vested in me as principal, I now pronounce you graduates of Minford High School. You may move your tassels to symbolize this event. Congratulations. Please be seated. This year, we have a special speaker. This gentleman every year says, someday I'm going to talk at graduation. Someday. And I said, well, how about someday being next Sunday? He said, okay. So our commencement address will be given this year by Mr. Chuck Miller. He's been a teacher at Minford since 1994. He's taught English, U.S. history, world history, and military history, a class that he created and took extra students into his U.S. history classes. Is that Mike? I'm telling you. He's also coached golf, girls track, junior high basketball, and varsity football. His passion for teaching and his love for his students is evident every day. Please welcome Mr. Chuck Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Beak. That's quite the introduction. By the way, Dutch, I'm definitely no Dutch Bird. So I hope everybody's having a good afternoon. Who would ever think 6 months ago we would be sitting here for this? This is about the time in graduation that everybody's like, this guy just needs to hurry up so we can get out of here. Tough. Ain't gonna happen. You're gonna give me about 20 minutes, maybe a little more, I don't know. Hello children, how you doing this afternoon? It's the last time I ever get to say it to them. I tell them every day. Now, from what I heard, there are also some bets out there that whether if I'll cry or not, I have no idea, so we'll just have to find out. So I would like to thank the parents, family, loved ones, friends of the graduates. You have raised some truly spectacular young adults. You're going to hear me say words like spectacular, excellent. With this group, that's normal. Those are adjectives that we use every day with them. I would also like to thank the Board of Education, as well as the administration and faculty of Minford Local Schools. You have made such an impact on the lives of today's graduates. Now, before I actually get started, this is a really special weekend for the United States, being Memorial Day weekend. We honor those who have served. We honor those that have given their lives for this country. So what I would like to do first is, if anybody out there has served, would you please stand? Thank you for your service. We also have one young lady with us today who has made the decision to serve her country. Olivia Tackett, will you please stand, Olivia? Olivia is going to leave a couple weeks, Olivia, I think it is, a few weeks. She's going to leave for Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. She's joined the National Guard, so thank you, Olivia. Well, the first thing I was going to talk about, Mr. Peekins just did. So, why am I up here? Okay, and he told you why. I've always told him I want to give some kind of speech before I retire. He said, why not this year? The question is, why this year? Well, the reason is this crew of seniors is exceptional to me. They're the closest group of kids I've ever had in 27 years. I mean, they are truly, truly great. I have no idea what these seniors did to me, by the way. I've always been kind of this gruff and grumpy individual. They've broke me. They absolutely have this year. They've changed me for the better. I'm now known as the softie in the school. Their last day, I cried 4 times. I did. Third period is when I have them in my classroom. So at the end, I didn't bring it up till the end of the period because I was trying to build up the strength. I was trying to tell them how much I loved them, how proud I was of them, how much I would miss them. I couldn't get through it. Broke down right there. 3 of them gave me letters. I cried every time I read one of the letters. So I'm now known as the softie. So I guess there's worse things to be known as. The first day, last Monday, I actually had third periods when I have these guys. I actually had 5 or 6 juniors come in, and they just wanted to sit with me because they were worried about how I was feeling. So, here we go. That's the effect that these guys had on me. How can 18-year-olds teach a 50-year-old? Well, they have. They absolutely have. So thank you guys for giving me the greatest year of my career. Absolutely. Third period history class was the highlight of my school day, every day. Not just because of the topic, but because of the clientele that was in the class. Just tremendous. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about a few of these seniors because this senior class shows such exceptional qualities that I want to mention some of them. Now, I can't mention all of them, obviously. We'd be here all night. But I'm going to mention a few of them. Ethan Crabtree. You heard Ethan earlier. Ethan's an introvert. Okay, he really coming up here and speaking in front of a crowd like this took a lot of courage for him. But something you might not know about Ethan, he's an Eagle Scout. When I was in Boy Scouts, I was not an Eagle Scout. I know how much effort it takes to go into that, and it's something to be very proud of. So with that, we're looking at hard work from Ethan. McKenna Higbee, Matthew Coverman. McKenna, now if I get my story straight here, McKenna was around the county and noticed that in other places they have blessing boxes. There's these little boxes, I guess you can put food in for people who need them. And she noticed that there wasn't one at Minford. So she went to Mrs. McLeese, her and Matthew Coverman. They decided that they were going to organize and place this. And I guess that Mackenzie and Garrett also was in on the building of the box correctly. Okay, got to give Mackenzie a little props there. I'm afraid I might get punched. So we're looking at kindness there. They're not doing it for accolades. They're doing it to help people because that's the kind of kids we have here. Matthew Reisner. Now, Matthew has the best hands of any football player I've seen since I've been here. Absolutely. Had a chance to go play football multiple places. Doesn't want to do it. Wants to follow his dreams. What's his dreams? He wants to work on tractors. He wants to be a farmer. Thank God for farmers, right? And I'll tell you one thing, the Gamps home run higher with that. Absolutely. So we're talking following your dreams right there. Dutch Bird. Dutch Bird is a teenage entrepreneur. Has a drone photography business. When I was Dutch Bird's age, I had a little lawnmower, riding lawnmower with a trailer and a push mower. I'd ride around town mowing grass, mow 5 or 6 lawns. I thought I was an entrepreneur doing that. No. He's got cards, he's got everything. Okay? So what that shows is vision. Dutch knows what he wants to do. He's also a pretty good track athlete also. Sarah Lewis. Sarah's had a tough year. And the thing about Sarah this year, I'm so proud of her. She's grown so much as a person. And earlier this year, Sarah heard about a fellow student who was in need. Now, being everything that Sarah's went through, she could have really easily said, I got enough on my plate. I'm not going to have it. Not her. She stepped up, raised money, purchased supplies for this student out of the goodness of her heart. That's empathy. All right? Very proud of you, Sarah. Haven't cried yet. Brooklyn Zach. Now, I don't get these kids until they're sophomores. By the time Brooklyn got into my history class, well, let's just say she didn't have the greatest work ethic, okay? And you see it a lot. You see kids who really struggle as freshmen, then they dig the hole deeper as a sophomore, and it ends up being maybe a hole they can never get out of. When she's a junior, switch is flipped. It's like a totally different person. These last 2 years, she's been the model citizen. She works at Walmart. You like a manager or something at Walmart? Where you at? Okay. She's lost like 65 pounds. I mean, I am so proud of you. Okay. That is absolute redemption right there. Where you at? I'm looking for you. I can't find you. Okay. All right. Hey, raise your hand. Great job. He's got a fan club too. Sam Wheely. Sometime this school year, Sam Wheely got the calling for a higher purpose. Sam's going to be a minister. I don't know if any of you guys have heard Sam. I haven't actually heard him in person, but I've seen him sing and heard him preach online. And let's just say that Sam Wheely puts the fire and brimstone in fire and brimstone. We're talking about serious, all right? Sawyer Gratial. Sawyer Gratial had, before age 1, had the lower half of his right leg amputated because of cancer. You would never know it. I didn't know it the first practice we had. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. But this hasn't slowed him down at all. And anybody that knows Sawyer knows that he doesn't use it as a crutch or anything. So the first day of golf practice when he was a freshman, he had long pants on. I had no idea that Sawyer had a prosthetic. So we're walking, it's hot. I think we're on hole 5, maybe Sawyer. And I'm on one side of the green, Sawyer's on the other. Well, I chip up, and I look over, Sawyer's sitting on the fringe. His foot is 45 degrees. I had no idea he had a prosthetic. I thought he dislocated his ankle. I'm running across the green. And here's the best part of it. I said, Sawyer, you okay? You okay? I'm freaking out. Sawyer just takes his wedge, just tink, hits his prosthetic. The first Sawyer I ever got. That's Will. that same year, first day of golf, here comes Annie Lawson. She's 5'9" now. She was like 5'4" then. So I look at Annie and I'm like, looks like I got a manager. And then she takes a couple practice swings and I'm like, yeah, I got a manager. Now the thing about Annie was, that wasn't what she's about. She worked and worked and worked. You know what she's doing this next fall? Playing college golf. That's determination. Never say die. Emma Fleener. I know, Emma, you're facing major health issues right now. Okay, but you know what she's not doing? She ain't whining about it. She's not wanting people to feel sorry for her. She's fighting it head on. Absolutely. Now, before you leave here, you get my cell number. Because my wife went through breast cancer last year and she beat it. And anytime you need to call, to talk, to cry, you give it. All right? So before you leave, you get my cell number. Elijah Vogelsong Lewis. Love the kid. Love him. If there's anybody in this school that could be arrogant, has a reason to be arrogant or cocky, it should be him. One of the best athletes that we've had come through here since I've been here. No. One of the nicest, one of the most humble people you ever meet. Tremendous human being. Absolutely. That's humility. Job. And the last ones I'm going to talk about, I call them the crew. All right. Kennedy Prater, Olivia Tackett, Macy Wright, Kara Dillon. They're always together. I mean, always together. So they organize and manage the clothing closet at the high school, okay, which provides much needed clothing for kids. That's compassion. So you see the qualities that these kids have. And it's not just the ones I mentioned, it's the whole crew. These are the kinds of kids that you're raising and we're putting out there. Absolutely as good as they can get. You should be so proud of that. So class of 2021, you're finally here. Finally, after 13 years, a lot of studying, some studying more than others. You're finally here to your day. This is a top 10 day. This absolutely is. This is a day that goes right up there with you getting married, with your children being born. So you need to enjoy it, embrace it, celebrate it. You know, this year, like Mr. Pika said, what a year. We've had challenges galore. Most trying school year in recent memory. And you guys have came through with flying colors. Everything we asked of you guys have done. Bad internet connections you dealt with, Google Classrooms, Google Meets, online tests. I'm not so sure if they hated online tests because they're a little easier to cheat when you got online tests, so they probably like those a lot more, all right? You know, the worst of all, absolutely, this is the worst of all, are these teachers who would record a 30 to 40-minute lecture, upload them to Google Classroom, and expect you to watch them when you got home. I mean, who does that, right? Who does that? Those teachers need fired. All right, look a little serious for a second. Up to this point, most of your decisions in life have been made by others. They've been made by parents, they've been made by teachers, they've been made by coaches. You've had some shared experiences. You've been in school, you've been on athletic teams, you've been in clubs, other groups. But from now on, it's on you. Absolutely. You follow your own dreams and aspirations. It has to be exciting to you. It has to also be a little scary. You'll be fine, Everybody went through it. You'll be fine. Think of your life as like a book. So up to this point, your book has been written for you. The pages are all written out. Now you're looking, the next half, nothing. Nothing there. Why? Because you guys are the author. You guys get to write out the rest of your story. You get to make the choices. That's awesome. Okay? So promise me one thing. As you go through life and as you write your book and you finish your life out, be the hero of your story, not the victim. Okay? Promise me that. You don't understand, don't underestimate yourself. You have the ability to do much more than you think. Dream as big as you want. Set your goals so high that people laugh at them. And then when you reach them, you laugh at those people. And you set them higher. You know, many of you have no idea what you want to do. You don't know what your next step is going to be. That's okay. It might take 5 years. It might take 10. You know, the parents probably don't like that idea of it taking 10, do they? Okay. Get them out of the house. Do you think I wanted to be a history teacher when I started out? No. All right. I got into, maybe I want to be a physical therapist. Nah, I didn't like that. Then an accountant. Could you imagine me behind a desk dealing with numbers? So I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, what do I really like? And it's history. Well, what can I do with history? Teacher. My mom, who's here, helped kind of lead me in that path. So if I'm a history teacher, I get to talk history every day? Sounds like a good one. Mark me down. Now, you hear this all the time. You hear that if you do something that you love, it's not really a job. Well, let me just tell you, that is absolutely the truth. 27 years, I still love teaching history as much as I did the first day. I hope you guys can tell that. My wife makes fun of me because every day we'll be getting ready in the bathroom and I'll say, guess what I'm going to talk about today? And she says, oh, what? Now she's really saying, I don't care. But she plays along. So, follow your dreams. All right? Flip my page here. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Follow your dreams. Forge your own path. Be yourself. Show your talent. Mediocrity should not be anyone's goal. But perfection should not either. It's impossible to attain, even for me. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn from your mistakes, but don't dwell on them. They're only a blip on the screen. Use them as motivation. Don't use them as a crutch. Live fully, take opportunities, have adventures. We like to focus on the beginning and the end of the journey, but don't forget about the journey in between. It's a great ride. Absolutely. Now, I truly believe, as I finish finally here, I truly believe that 20 years from now, we're going to look back. We're going to look back at this class and we're going to say, wow, those 21 kids really knocked it out of the park. I truly believe that. Congratulations, 2021 graduates. Thank you.
After the tremendous speech by Mr. Miller, the speeches by our graduates, I know this is rare, but I don't have anything to say. So this time, graduates, please rise. ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you your 2021 Minford High School graduates. Congratulations. Go ahead. This concludes the graduation ceremony. Thank you for coming. Have a safe trip home. The backers were kind enough to bring a backdrop for pictures. Drive home safe.
Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. Our faith is